Allah is my heart's speech. Your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen allow me to advance. Help me in my quest. Permit me to pass the ultimate test. Help me in my quest. Permit me to pass the ultimate test.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على نبيه ومصطفاه سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. وبعد, dear viewers everywhere, welcome to a new edition of Ask Huda. A quick reminder with our phone numbers beginning with the area code 0020238555249 or 0020115008679, and the email addresses are ask@huda.tv and gardens@huda.tv. Barakallahu fikum. And without any further ado, you just have a couple of pending questions. The first one is from Sister Amina from the KSA. She asked in the last episode, where everyone witnessed Ad-Dajjal, would everyone witness Ad-Dajjal? Only those who will be living during this turbulent time. Which means those who passed away before Ad-Dajjal would emerge will be saved from the trial of Ad-Dajjal. But those who will be living, as the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Ad-Dajjal would not spare a city, but he shall enter it and try its people. He would have with him what would look like Jannah and what would look like Nar. And he would have some extraordinary acts, such as ordering the sky to drop its rain, and it will. And the earth to grow its fruits and vegetations, and it will. Many weird things. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has informed us it's a fitna, it's a trial. Because the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, this guy would do so and will claim that he is the Lord, he is our God. Then the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, indeed, your Lord is not A'war. A'war means one-eyed. And Ad-Dajjal, the false Messiah, the greatest liar, because he claimed to be the Lord, is one-eyed. Not only that, it will be written between his eyes, on his forehead, the word Kafir, which means a disbeliever, or Kafara, which means disbelieved. The letters of Kufr, or disbelief. Every believer, whether literate or illiterate, will be capable to read it as an indication that he is the false Dajjal, the false Messiah, Al-Masih Ad-Dajjal. It is the biggest and the worst trial ever, as it has been mentioned in the Sound Hadith, since Allah created the heavens and the earth, since Allah created Adam alayhi salam. So may Allah save us against this trial. Ameen. Except, of course, the two cities of Mecca and Al-Madinah, who would not be able to enter these two cities. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brother Ali from Iraq. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Ali. You're live on Ask Huda. Assalamu alaikum. Okay, I know that you can hear us.
Dear Sheikh, I have one question about my father. He has not spoken to me for maybe 2 years, and I have tried to contact him on several occasions. This is because of Khawf Allah that I keep on trying to call him. He speaks very badly of me.
What is the reason?
Everywhere.
Why is he boycotting you?
He's married. He got remarried after the death of my mother. After 2002, was remarried about 4 years ago. And ever since, when he was remarried, I greeted him. I respected the fact that he was remarried, and I showed both of them utmost respect. But it's been about 2 years that he speaks about me very badly in the community. And although the community speaks very highly of me to him, but he always speaks badly of me. Not only me, even my brother and sister, but alhamdulillah, I practice my deen very well, and the reason why I want to speak to him is only from the khawf of Allah.
Mm-hmm. Have you tried asking him what is the reason?
No, he just says to me that you are not my son, and I will not give any view.
You know, Ali, it's hard to believe that a father would treat his respecting, loving, and caring son this awful treatment out of the blue, without any previous reasons.
Well, I think, he sold many property, and ever since he sold this property, his wife must want him not to speak to us because maybe she thinks that we want money from him.
Well,
maybe, but
that may be a reason, but it is not a satisfying reason. In any case, I got your point. It's a dilemma because the person can divorce his wife, can break up with his wife, but not with his parents, not with his father and his mother, no matter what they do. We spoke before that the Quran says that even if they were kuffar, even if they were non-Muslims, وإن جاهداك على أن تشرك بي ما ليس لك به علم فلا تطعهما وصاحبهما في الدنيا معروفا. Even if they are non-Muslims, challenging you account of your faith, still give them a good company. You don't go along with them when it comes to trying to obstruct your path of faith, hinder you from the path of Allah. But with regards to their rights on you in the dunya, you must fulfill the rights. So again, I'm not very convinced that this is without a reason or simply because his wife. You know, when a father says to his son, "You're not my son," that is the worst thing that could happen to the father, not just to the son. That is the worst thing that could happen to the father. To say that word, it's such a very big word. So my advice is to go visit him, sit with him, and ask him openly what is going on. Perhaps consult uncles, aunts to intercede and find out. If he denies any reason, still continue to uphold your ties to him. Call him occasionally and visit him, send him messages, take him gifts, and so on. That is your duty towards him as long as he lives, and pray for him. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sister Maria from Nigeria. Maria, assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Proceed on, please.
Sheikh, I have one question.
No.
I have a cake business, and I make cakes for people, and they pay.
Sister Maria, you are making cake for people. Then what is your question?
To make cakes for their boyfriend. I get requests from people to make cakes for their boyfriend or their girlfriend. And they give me money and paid. So I'm not sure if this money is halal or not. Should I collect it?
So you know that the person who's asking you for the cake is for her boyfriend, for whatever occasion, right? طيب. In any case, baking cakes or any type of food, as long as the food itself is halal, is perfectly halal. But when you know that you're making this cake for an anniversary or anything which is prohibited for a religious occasion for other than Muslims, for instance, or as you mentioned, a girlfriend is asking you to make a cake for her boyfriend for whatever occasion, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala teaches us in Surah Al-Ma'idah, وَلَا تَعَاوَنُوا عَلَى الْإِثْمِ وَالْعُدْوَانِ. We should not cooperate and help one another when it comes to sinning, transgression, and disobedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, especially if the customer is Muslim, of course. So may Allah give you plenty of provision in a halal way for avoiding the haram. Barakallah feek, Sister Maria. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sister Aisha from the KSA.
Wa alaikum assalam. Sheikh, I have one question.
Go ahead.
It is due on me to give ransom for a vow. So can I give it in cash instead of feeding of 10 people in food?
Okay.
Thank you.
If you're given, Sister Aisha is saying that she owes the ransom for a vow. Can she give the ransom in cash instead of feeding or buying the clothes? We'll answer after this call, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum. Sister Aisha from Nigeria. Assalamu alaikum. Okay, try again, Sister Aisha. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, لا يؤاخذكم الله باللغو في أيمانكم ولكن يؤاخذكم بما عقدتم الأيمان. The ransom for not fulfilling your oath, the future oath, to do or not to do, if you fail to do it, something that you swear to do it, or if you fail to abstain from doing what you committed yourself in the name of Allah not to do, then the ransom is freeing a slave neck, feeding or clothing the 10 poor people. طعام 10 مساكين من أوسط ما تطعمون أهليكم أو كسوتهم أو تحرير رقبة. The 3 options are even. You choose whichever one. Of course, we don't have slaves anymore, so you're left with clothing or feeding the 10 masakin, an average meal of what we eat. And the second option, in case that you cannot afford feeding or clothing because you cannot afford it financially, then to fast for 3 days. The same ransom applies to the nadhr. The Prophet ﷺ said in the hadith, من نذر أن يطيع الله فليطعه ومن نذر أن يعصيه فلا يعصه. Whosoever vows to obey Allah, he should fulfill his vow. And whosoever vows to disobey Allah, he should not fulfill his vow. Rather, he should obey Allah and he should pay the ransom, which is similar to the ransom for al-yamin al-munaqida, or the oath of the future, to do or not to do. There is also a hadith in this regard, in brief, that the ayah says, إِطْعَامُ أَوْ كِسْوَةُ, either feeding or clothing. So if you're giving it to individuals, you got to do that, feeding or clothing. But if you're giving it to an organization which looks after poor, it will be very sufficient to give them the cash and they can dispense it in the proper way by informing them this is a ransom for feeding 10 masakin or buying clothes for 10 masakin for whatever penalty that you are involved in. Similarly, if you entrust another person to do it for you, you can give him the cash and he can take care of feeding or clothing. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sister Aisha from Nigeria is back on the line. Assalamu alaikum.
Hello.
Naam, Sister Aisha, assalamu alaikum.
Hello.
Sister Aisha, go ahead and proceed
Hello?
with your question. Okay, we'll take a third Aisha from the KSA. Assalamu alaikum. Oh, we lost Sister Aisha from the KSA as well. Please try again. No problem. Then Sister Amina from the KSA is saying that I work as a wedding planner and many of my customers are Hindus. They throw expensive wedding parties. Is my work halal? It depends. What do you do? What kind of party do you do? Like if I cook the food, then, and I cook halal food, no problem. I'm not responsible as how they make their wedding. But if I'm the planner of everything, the wedding, the mingling, the tables, the music, and all of that, every haram that has been done, and you are a planner behind it, you bear the major sin, the biggest portion of the sin, because you planned it. The ayah, وَتَعَاوَنُوا عَلَى الْبِرِّ وَالتَّقْوَى وَلَا تَعَاوَنُوا عَلَى الْإِثْمِ وَالْعُدْوَانِ. I wish the brothers can display the ayah on the screen so that every person knows this ayah very well and know that this ayah would answer most of your questions. With regards to halal and haram and earning and provision, and وَتَعَاوَنُوا عَلَى الْبِرِّ وَالتَّقْوَى وَلَا تَعَاوَنُوا عَلَى الْإِثْمِ وَالْعُدْوَانِ. Help one another in achieving what? What is birr, righteousness, taqwa, piety, good deeds. وَلَا تَعَاوَنُوا. Never help one another in doing what? Al-ithm, any sin, and al-udwan, any transgression. Transgression against yourself, against others, or against any laws, rights. So if you know that by planning this wedding, you plan any violation of the shara of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, of course it is haram, even if you do not attend it, even if you're doing so for non-Muslims. Like doing hair salon, for instance, and for non-Muslim women. What do? Fix their hair, their makeup, so that they walk outside and they make fitna for others. وَلَا تَعَاوَنُوا عَلَى الْإِثْمِ وَالْعُدْوَانِ. The thing is, the thing which I wanted to share with you, which you may have heard from me repeatedly, don't worry about your rizq. Don't worry about leaving the haram, which you may earn a lot from doing this haram. Don't worry that if you quit the haram, that you will starve or you will die out of hunger. Don't worry about any of that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, إِنَّ اللَّهَ هُوَ الرَّزَّاقُ ذُو الْقُوَّةِ الْمَتِينِ. You know what it means? Al-Razzaq is an extensive form of Raziq. Raziq is a provider. Razzaq is the ever provider. Non-stop, non-stop, non-stop. And his treasures are full. He said, if all of you, from the very first to the very last, the human being and the jinn, gather together in one plane, each one of them asking me to fulfill all his needs and her needs. Anything you ask for the whole dunya, and I give each and every one what they ask for and fulfill their needs, it will not diminish my domain and art. It would not affect my kingdom. It would not affect my rizq, my provision, my domain. So you are dealing with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, إن روح القدس نفث في روعي أنه لن تموت نفس حتى تستوفي رزقها وأجلها فأجملوا في الطلب ولا يحملن أحدكم استبطاء الرزق أن يطلبه بمعصية الله. To explain this hadith and its meaning after this call, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum. Brother Ali from Oman.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. How are you?
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm fine, alhamdulillah. Thank you for asking, Brother Ali.
For doing such a wonderful job.
Can you raise your voice, please? Ali.
Sheikh, my question, I have three questions. My first question is that why in Islam they say that you should bury your dead as soon as possible? The second question...
Ali, unfortunately, I have difficulty hearing you. Can we raise the volume just a little bit?
car on the sky up. And the third question is...
Okay, the brothers in the control, please collect the questions because I cannot hear anything. جزاكم الله خيرا. With the hadith. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sister Samia from United Arab Emirates, welcome to the program.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I have a question because I heard that question about the wedding planner. There is a sort of part-time job that I do sometimes. I work as a mystery shopper. What I do is I actually go to hotels, part of big chain hotels, the ones that you see, international chains. And what I do, I pose as a guest, and then I check the hotels, the facilities, the food and everything, but I pretend like a guest. Now the thing is, because I was worried, I'm concerned that some of the hotels serve alcohol. So I actually avoid the hotels which serve alcohol, and I don't check those hotels. I refuse to the company. Now I'm just wondering that, can I actually check these hotels also which serve alcohol? Am I participating in helping, something which is haram? So I've been avoiding it just because I had my doubts. But if you would clarify that, it would be really nice.
Okay, thank you, Sister Sammy.
Okay.
إن روح القدس نفث في روحي. روح القدس refers to Angel Gabriel, peace be upon him. This is some sort of revelation by inspiring Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam with the following statement, as the hadith says: لن تموت نفس حتى تستوفي رزقها وأجلها. No soul shall die or expire before receiving on full its provision and lifespan. No one is going to die missing a single bite or a sip of drink here or there, or missing a single moment, a fraction of a second in his or her life. What does it mean? It means you should be full of confidence and put your trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that the provision which you're making from haram, if you did not seek it from haram, it shall come to you from halal. But you're rushing. It is your provision. A lot of people I met in the States, they say, oh subhanallah, I'm very glad that Allah blessed me with the visa and I came here. I should have been doing nothing back home, very poor. No, that is not true. If it is preordained for any person to be rich or poor, or to eat or not to eat, or to do or not to do, you're going to get it. Not because of the visa or the immigration, or because of... No, these are all means. No one shall die missing anything of the rights, whether provision or lifespan. No one is going to die a day earlier or a day later. And that gives you a comfort that what could the whole world do to hurt you? Nothing. Nothing. If it is ordained for you, it's going to happen. Even if you lock yourself behind closed doors, it's going to happen. Right? So you need to put your trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And when you leave the haram or the doubtful matters, with regards to provision particularly, for the sake of Allah, here is a glad tiding. Here is a bishara. Here is the best news. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, "Man taraka shay'an lillah abdalahu Allahu khayran min." I swear to Allah in whose hand is my soul. I have seen this repeatedly so many times. Seen it with myself, with many friends, with many students, with many colleagues. I've seen it everywhere. If I share with you the emails which we receive from the viewers on the feedback account, amazing experiences. People said, we did not know before that working in a conventional bank is haram. Or selling liquor and beer to non-Muslims is haram. We all thought, as long as it is non-Muslims, halal. After we heard that, we quit. And ya Shaykh, now you have much better conditions. Allah replaced it to me with much better job and much better earning and so on. It is true. Why? Because He controls the keys of provision. So when you ask from Him, you should ask it and seek it lawfully, because the Prophet ﷺ said in this inspiration, Jibreel taught him that no one should rush the provision by earning unlawfully, because if the provision is with Allah, no one can obtain anything which is with Allah through disobeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It deprives even your earning from halal, it deprives it from the barakah. What a loss. Then there is great consequence in the hereafter as well for earning and nourishing yourself and feeding yourself and your family members from haram, for God's sake. Wallahi, wallahi, I swear to Allah, the biggest problem today with the ummah is earning unlawfully, particularly from riba. I swear to Allah in whose hand is my soul. What happened? Lack of understanding, lack of comprehension, of the proper comprehension. Ghafla, negligence. The person is negligent of the main purpose of life. Yeah, he's Muslim. And guess what? He has a big prayer mark, or she has a big prayer mark. But they're disconnected. They're not in touch with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They do these activities as routines. They go frequently to Hajj or Umrah because they think that would justify their misdoing. Only those who avoid the haram and make sure to eat from halal, they find the taste and the sweetness of Iman. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sister Iman from Jordan. Iman, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Go ahead, Sister Iman, please.
Yeah, I can't hear you very well, actually. The
I
voice
can,
is,
Alhamdulillah. Go ahead, Sister Iman, I can hear you.
Yeah, my question is it okay or is it fine if the Salat al-Isha or the evening prayer can be delayed until midnight?
Okay.
Because usually, like me and my husband, we are both working. So, like for example, when I arrive coming from my work, usually from the door to the kitchen, and I have to prepare the dinner, do the cleaning and everything. So I just want to take rest for a while, and then after that, usually like I finish doing all my things in the house, even the cooking and the cleaning at 9:30, 10 o'clock in the evening. So I rest for a while, and then I pray my Isha prayer.
Now, the time for Isha prayer, the end of time is midnight. So as long as you pray it before midnight, it is okay. This is for those who do not pray in jama'ah or in the masjid, because for men, they must follow the jama'ah. So if the jama'ah is held in the masjid, a half hour after the adhan, an hour after the adhan, 15 minutes after the adhan has been called, they should join the jama'ah. For those who are praying at home or for women, you have plenty of time to pray whenever it is convenient for you, yet it is always said, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam answered this question when he was asked about what is the best deed, he said, as-salatu li-waqtiha. As-salatu li-waqtiha, in another narration, ala waqtiha. One of the best deeds is to pray on time. And time is wide, but to pray at the earliest time is better. So, if the jama'ah is delayed in the masjid for Isha, that's perfectly fine. For the ladies, to delay the jama'ah or to delay their prayer, such as you said that you work schedule, no problem, provided it should not be past midnight. Now it becomes qada. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brother Hanif from United Arab Emirates. Hanif, assalamu alaikum. Okay, try again, Brother Hanif, please. Muhammad says, if we have a friend or relative who has been working in a conventional bank for over 30 years, oh my God, 30 years you've been earning haram. 30 years, Allah is so patient with you. 30 years feeding yourself and your family members from haram. You know what is the worst sin and the severest punishment? Is aklu riba. Is there any worse punishment than to have Allah and His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam becoming your enemy, and Allah and His Messenger waging a war against you? Look what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وذروا ما بقي من الربا إن كنتم مؤمنين فإن لم تفعلوا فأذنوا بحرب من الله ورسوله لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله. This is very terrible. This is very terrible. O you who believe, fear Allah and abandon all the remains of riba, all the different types of riba transaction. If you truly believe in Allah. What if you claim to believe in Allah and you do not abandon and give up dealing with riba? فَأْذَنُوا بِحَرْبٍ مِّنَ اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ. Subhanallah, Allah declares a war. Allah declares a war. Many people ask, I have been giving any charity, I have been doing a lot of good deeds, and my kids are being naughty, disobedient. My son doesn't want to see me. My daughter got married without my permission. Don't you know the reason? After 30 years you're coming to ask the reason? The answer is there. You've been feeding them from haram. It's as simple as that. Riba is one of the doors of haram. Facilitating any haram is haram. Like a hotel manager, for instance, who's allowing prostitution and serving wine and so on, and gambling, and he's proud to be a hotel manager, the chief of the staff. Haram, forbid him. Then don't ask why my life is messed up, why my wife is whatever, and my children, and finally the person is afflicted with a calamity or with a disease which would wipe out all his savings from haram, and it is gone to treat a disease. And would that be an expiation for the sins? Only if you repent. So from the beginning, put your trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The question, what should we do in our relationship with Him? Uphold the ties of kinship. Try to advise Him every time you have a chance, because wallahi, the advice does wonders. But when the person does not hear any advice from any person, then he will think he's okay. I told you I live somewhere in a building, and I figured that the person who is in the upper story is a manager of the biggest bank in the nation. Then one day he prayed with me in the masjid. He said, you live with us in the building, I would love for you to visit me sometimes. I said, sure. When I was paying him the visit, my mind said, I know exactly what's going to happen. I was leading the prayer, and he shook hands with me, and he invited me to his flat, and I went. He kept talking about many other things, which I know by the end he wants to ask about one thing. Some people say that my job is haram. What do you think? I said, what do you think? Do you sleep at night? No. Are you happy? No. And guess what? This is the least punishment in the dunya. The worst punishment is to come yet. It's not worth it. So the advice, when people keep paying the advice, الدين النصيحة كنتم خير أمة أخرجت للناس. You're the best ummah produced to mankind. Why? Because you enjoy what's right and you forbid what is evil. وذكر فإن الذكرى تنفع المؤمنين. This reminder benefits whom? The believers. What trying Bani Israel is, nobody cares. It's none of my business. They do whatever they want to do, and by the end we sit and eat and chat and hang out together. It's like nothing have happened. Because of that, they have been cursed by David and Jesus, the son of Mary. That is in the Quran. وَعِنَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا مِنْ بَنِي إِسْرَائِيلَ عَلَى لِسَانِ دَاوُودَ وَعِيسَى بْنِ مَرْيَمَ ذَلِكَ بِمَا عَصَوْا وَكَانُوا يَعْتَدُونَ كَانُوا لَا يَتَنَاهَوْنَ عَنْ مُنْكَرٍ فَعَلُوا. They used not to forbid each other from the evil which they used to do. How evil is what they used to do. Don't you be like them. Give the advice politely, nicely, kindly, with sincere dua that your advice would touch the heart of the advised person. For the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you may end up changing his or her life. We'll take a short break and we'll be back inshallah in a few minutes. Please stay tuned.
Reading the Quran is a blessing. Understanding its translation is beautiful. But diving in depth and extracting pearls from it is simply amazing. Do they not ponder upon the Quran? Every week, inshallah, we will dig deep and reflect on the verses of the Quran one by one.
Quran in Depth with Sheikh Ibrahim Zaidan, only on Huda TV.
يا ذا الجلال والإكرام يا حي يا قيوم لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إنا كنا من الظالمين اللهم أحسن عاقبتنا في الأمور كلها وأجرنا من خزي الدنيا وعذاب الآخرة برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين اللهم أصلح لنا ديننا الذي هو عصمة أمرنا وأصلح لنا دنيانا التي فيها معاشنا وأصلح لنا آخرتنا التي إليها معادنا واجعل الحياة زيادة لنا في كل خير واجعل الموت راحة لنا من كل شر.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And welcome back. First caller in this segment, Brother Hanif from United Arab Emirates. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum, Hanif. Okay, try again, Brother Hanif, please. Sister Samia from United Arab Emirates in the previous segment asked about the nature of her job as a mystery shopper. You know what it means that she is, for instance, a news reporter. They go to restaurants, hotels, and they taste the food. They don't tell, you know, the owners of the restaurant or the hotels. They dine, they enjoy the stay, and they write the rating in order to recommend or the opposite. Say this hotel is very good, the service is 9 out of 10, 7 out of 10, 10 out of 10. Similarly, restaurants. So she's asking, what if the restaurant is like serving alcohol and the hotel likewise? She said she's been avoiding that because she's been suspicious. What is the answer? All of you now are scholars in this particular mas'ala. You know what is the answer? Everybody knows the ayah of Surah Al-Ma'idah. وَتَعَاوَنُوا عَلَى الْبِرِّ وَالتَّقْوَى وَلَا تَعَاوَنُوا عَلَى الْإِثْمِ وَالْعُدْوَانِ. When you recommend a place that sells alcohol, a place where there is gambling, a place where it says, well, you're encouraging people to go to such places, while there are halal places. Do not propagate the haram. As الدال على الخير له أجر فاعله. When you show people that there's something good and they do it, they act upon it, they adopt it, you'll be rewarded for that. And likewise, but on the other flip, when you show people something bad, when you invent something bad, when you misguide them and they like it and they act upon it, they take your recommendation. So do they commit sins? They do. What about you? You're sitting on top of the pyramid. Everyone who would follow your advice, your bad advice, is pushing you further up. But it's a dilemma. because you will be responsible. Every person will be either earning his own reward or punishment, and because you've guided them either to good or bad, you receive a similar reward or a similar punishment without diminishing the reward or the punishment of either one of you. So may Allah guide you to what is best. I love what you say that you've been avoiding that because you feel it is suspicious. It is. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increase your provision from halal. There is Brother Ali from Oman. He deposited his questions in the control, whom we couldn't hear. Seems like we're having a serious problem with the connection. His first question is with regards to rushing to bury our dead people. Why? Number one, Al-Imam al-Bukhari wa Muslim, may Allah have mercy on them, collected the sound hadith that the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam ordered to hurry in burying the janazah, the dead people, whether it's he or she. And he said, فَإِن تَكُ صَالِحَةً فَخَيْرٌ تُقْدِمُونَهَا عَلَيْهِ. If the dead person, if the janazah is for a righteous person, you're taking him or her to goodness, which he or she have been long waiting for. How? You know that after the burial, that a door will be open in the grave to the righteous person to see his place in heaven. And he will be excited, anxiously waiting for what? For the day of judgment. And he will proclaim saying, Ya Rabbi aqim as-sa'a. Establish the day of judgment. I want the day of judgment to be established now. Why? Because he sees his seat in heaven. وَإِن يَكُ سِوَى ذَلِكَ فَشَرٌ تَضَعُونَهُ عَنْكُمْ. But if the janazah is evil, if the person who died was bad, then it's evil that you're getting rid of. This is as far as the prophetic wisdom behind hurrying and burying the dead people. In addition to, of course, medical reasons. You know that what happens, the body gets stiff and starts swelling and smelling and so on. These changes take place supposedly in the grave, not while the person is outside. That's why even if the person dies abroad, it is recommended to be buried where he died, not to put him in the fridge or the freezer, then to ship him via sea or airborne for several days, and the dead body is traveling across the world for days. Why? As long as there is a Muslim graveyard somewhere, bury him to the nearest Muslim in the nearest Muslim graveyard. I will take the next question or questions of Ali after this call. Assalamu alaikum. Sister Layla from Lithuania. Assalamu alaikum, Sister Layla. That would be very interesting. I think Malik and myself visited Lithuania, and it was a very interesting and a nice visit, mashallah. Okay, please try again, Sister Layla. Now, Muhammad's next question is, if we're watching a program that teaches the recitation of the Quran and the times for prayer comes, should we continue watching the program or should we begin the prayer? If you listen to the previous answer, the sister who said that with regards to her prayer, for women, if you're praying at home, you pretty much have a flexible schedule to pray versus men who have to attend the prayer in the masjid, if they can afford it. So if you are a man and there is a program and you heard the iqamah, leave the program and go to the masjid and attend the prayer. You can watch the rerun, or you can watch it on the YouTube, whether this program or that program. Okay? Because the priority is for attending the prayer in Jama'ah. For the sisters, any program would not last more than 52 minutes. So, if there is a chance, for instance, if there is a few minutes left, then you can finish the program with ease and attend the prayer, because there is plenty of time. But let's say that the program began at Maghrib time, and it takes 52 minutes, and we know that the time between Maghrib and Isha is very short. No, sorry, I have to begin by praying my Maghrib. Priority is to offer the prayer on time and not to risk it, not to risk or take a chance of missing the prayer or waiting until you hear the adhan of the following prayer. So you measure it based on the benefit-risk ratio, and it depends on what prayer time that you're talking about. I believe most of our live shows are presented after Isha in most of the countries nowadays, maybe with the exception of the UK. So we don't have this problem, alhamdulillah, shukla, currently. The following question is, my husband loves to sleep in the same bed as our two sons. He refuses to sleep in our bed with me. Isn't this a violation of my rights? I can't really answer this question straightforward, because maybe there is a reason or another. You know, we discussed in details the couple's rights in a very lengthy program, in a long series, you know, Visitor at Home. But in brief, yes, you do have rights upon him. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala summarized those rights in the Quran in a very beautiful segment, in the most beautiful segment. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَلَهُنَّ مِثْلُ الَّذِي عَلَيْهِنَّ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ. The wives do have rights similar to those which are due upon them to their husbands. It's a win-win situation. We're even. Mutual rights. You have rights and duties, and he have rights and duties. So the husband should really pay close attention to her rights, to his wife's rights, as much as he is eager to get his rights and to have her respect his rights, including sharing bed. If it hurts her feeling, if she feels like abandoned. Take this example. Why in the beginning I said it's hard to answer? Because sometimes maybe he is putting the kids to sleep, he is giving them a bit of story. I don't know his reason. But in general, Abdullah ibn Abbas, may Allah be pleased with him, one of the great companions of the Prophet ﷺ, said, I love to adorn myself for my wife, same way I love my wife to adorn herself for me. How do you like that? We love that our women, our spouses, our wives, to wear a full makeup, nice perfume and so on. What about you? Do you ever think the same? Dress up nicely, even though you're going to bed. The clothes are going to crumble anyway, but she likes to see you the same way that you like her to be seen before you. Not to wear a makeup, of course, but the makeup for men is the kuhl, is wearing a nice mask or nice fragrance, dressing up nicely. Of course, both required to do certain things like taking care of their personal hygiene, removing the underarm hair and the pubic. These teachings are from the Sunnah and the pure nature as the Prophet ﷺ taught us. Unfortunately, we ran out of time. Otherwise, that's a very interesting subject to be discussed. Maybe some other time. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم وصلى الله على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. Before I leave you, brothers and sisters, please include one of our crew, the production manager, a former production manager of Huda TV. He died today of cancer. May Allah have mercy on him and on his entire family. It was a very special moment to attend his funeral, and I ask you all to include him in your prayer. His name was Brother Mahmoud Yaqub. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Allah is my heart's speech, your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen allow me